Welcome everybody, we are getting into this game. It is going to be a really good one, I can promise you that without any qualms whatsoever. We're going to be spawning directly on top of TSL.Hyun, who's going to be the red Zerg in the top right. And Hyun's opponent in the Zotac Cup is going to be none other than roxkis.TITAN, the very strong blue Protoss player in the top left. And this is going to be a best of three. It's the quarterfinals. In this quarterfinals, these two players are really going to be going up in a crazy game. And I'm actually very excited for this. And wait a second, Titan just threw down a pylon inside his base. Okay, so Titan is not going to be forge fast expanding, and not only that, he's not walling off. I hope he realizes he's playing against the Zerg, because this is weird. This is very weird. This is something White Raw actually used to do. He would actually wall here with his cybernetics core and his gateway afterwards. Like, that's how he would actually go for his wall. And he would just go for his gateway normally here, but you can't really... this is physically impossible now to do a standard forge fast expand. And we see the gateway going down first, but the thing is, this isn't even a wall right here. There's actually a hole in between this nexus and this pylon, and that could be incredibly easily abused by Hyun, but Hyun's actually going to hatchery first too, so Hyun's perfectly safe. If he actually to forge fast expand, then Hyun would be vulnerable to hardcore cannon rushing, but instead right now he's just hatching first, and it's the most safe he can possibly be, because now he's going to pop in here, he clicks on this gateway, sees it's a gateway, now he knows. Now Titan says, yo, happy face. So apparently he's perfectly knowledgeable in the fact that Hyun is a Zerg player, which everyone should be, but I mean, this is very atypical. It looks like he is going to be doing a one-gate expand type of gameplay, unless he could be Yuffie expanding. Yuffie expanding, I think, could be what he's doing. He goes for the gateway, then the nexus, then the forge. He can do pressure with his zealot, and then he can have cannons and everything to be defense. Okay, that makes a lot more sense than he could be doing. It leads into a lot of the similar same things that forge fast expand could, but it gives you an opportunity to be a little bit more aggressive earlier on, as you're going to get that zealot out quite quickly, and you still get out a quick nexus. So Hyun is now seeing this everything that's happening in the front, but notice the lack of forge and all that. In fact, it looks like Titan may not be up expanding. He may just be going for a one-gate expand in a very odd way that I've never seen before, which is really awesome to see. But look at what's doing to Hyun. Hyun hasn't gotten a third base yet, and we can see how Titan is being very active looking for his third base, and I am so curious how this is going to be going down. But there's the forge inside of the next core, so I think this may indeed be more of a Yuffie type of expansion, which means that Hyun may be caught incredibly off guard, because this is not a common build at all. So with Hyun getting this lack of a third, he stopped mining gas, so he's just going to get his metabolic boost and not worry about going for any kind of lair tech soon, which means he's probably not going to be going for some kind of cheese or two-base muta or something along those lines. So I'm kind of waiting for him to try and get out of third base, but he may be at a loss as just to how to really combat what Titan is going for. Titan also has a very weird wall off over here. He's not utilizing this area for the wall. He's trying to bring it here. The problem is this is going to allow roaches actually to come into this area and be really effective with their aggression. But Titan is just happily probing up. Hyun is happily droning up. And as we can see, he's just put guys back onto his gas. So he could still be going for some kind of weird two-base play. I wouldn't be surprised if he tries to go for a Nidus, as he's got overlords in a few different places that are very solid, plus be able to keep an eye on these gases and all that. But this makes me super excited that we're going to be having a best of three between these players, because already Titan is showing a very interesting starting build order for this gameplay, and I'm very curious what he's going to be doing. Hyun has officially started his lair tech. He's keeping one guy in the gas only, so I'm quite right now expecting there to be a Nidus, which is pure speedling coming in. He may throw down a Baneling Nest as well. That could be incredibly effective. Then we can get into one of those very odd situations where we have a two-base Zerg versus a one-base Protoss if this entire base gets eliminated, but Titan is now just getting out a set of gateways. For gate, he's getting his +1 attack and his cybernetics core, so he could easily go for... oh, he's realized that something is weird. I I don't think he really knows much about the state of Hyun's base, but maybe he's realized that there's no third base, and so he's got to be really careful. But now we're going to see him forced to get quite a large wall off, because Hyun's Lings now are going to be streaming forward, and this cannon is not even halfway done, and those take a long time to pop out. And now we're seeing a couple holes are going to be really exposed in this defense, but now there is a very nice force field, going to not be able to keep that pylon alive, though. That one Ling is within range of killing it. Oh, it got taken out, actually. It got taken out. So this is actually going to allow this pylon to get up for a little bit. Now with this cannon up, all we need to see Titan do is get out more sentries, and there it is. The second sentry is going to come out. But this is a very vulnerable... Oh my god, he might need to force another wall off. You can see how there's another sentry, but... there is the full wall. The sentries are in there. Now we're going to see this cyber network get replaced, but where is Hyun's tech going? Looks like he's actually going to be going 2-base Muta. He just got all of his gases. Notice he just began mining them too. He's got a couple spine cars out now, but we're seeing Titan going for more gateways. He's actually now up to 6 gateways. He may go for a big attack. He still has a zealot sitting at this third, and it's actually going to be enough to defend, and he even takes out that drone. So that's a huge delay for Hyun to lose his time in getting down this expansion. That's really not good for him. Plus Titan now has a 1 zealot wide choke at his national expansion. I mean, it's not the strongest considering the fact that it's got a cannon that's still going to be able to create a bigger hole, but what this means is that Titan has a very, very easily defensible position against Ling Rumbais. And now he's going for a Twilight Council, so he's going to be able to get out his +2 attack fairly soon. He's even getting his armor, which will be very good against the mutas that Hyun is going for. After all, mutas don't do very much damage, and when you get that armor upgrade, the mutas are going to be reduced by a total of 1 damage on every attack that gets set against the units of Titan. So those bounce attacks are going to do almost nothing, but my god, Hyun is going for a very, very, very hidden expansion, which is going to be really good. But now we see the proxy pylon gets found. Titan, though, does have that +1 attack, so these zealots are being super effective in the Pokemon sense against these Zerglings. And now we're going to see this pylon move. Actually, a Stalker warped in the blob would be great, but now we're just seeing more Zealots coming in, and Hyun knows he has to retreat. He did manage to do a little bit of damage to that one Zealot over there, but I mean, still not enough. Now we've got Stalkers going to be pushing forward, and there's the aggression going to be ramping up. You've got the pylon going down at the low ground. This hatchery is still not even close to being done. We've got the mutas in production. They're going to be able to try and defend this, but we've got a fair amount of Stalkers and Zealots there, but a lot of spawns, and I do not see any way a Titan can break that with just gateway units. And now here come the mutas. However, there's no cannons in play, but looks like Titan smells the mutas coming. Now he's going to go ahead and start engaging, and the thing is, a trade for Hyun is not going to be good right now. He's very low eco, basically still on those 2 bases only, but Titan is bringing in Stalkers 1 at a time, and that is not good in a one-on-one against muta battle, especially when the mutas are being reinforced very, very efficiently. And we have them just wrecking the probe line now. We're watching as more and more probes are going down. 11 probes have now been taken out, and Hyun is really doing a great job of being crazy aggressive against the odd opener of Titan. And now we have a full surround, though, by the Stalkers. That's going to mean that Hyun's going to need to retreat, but notice how he's just doing such a good job of making all of his mutas as effective as humanly possible. Or I guess as Zergally possible, considering that he is technically a Zerg player, but he's controlling them as a human, so perhaps it's still humanly possible. Who knows? It's up to you guys to decide. It's just worthless semantics that you guys can just discuss on your own, even though you probably shouldn't, because it's pretty weird discussion. But Blink is now done for these Stalkers. They are 1-1. We can see that the Forge is getting the next set of upgrades. It would be super important right now. Hyun is getting just picked off, unfortunately. He's still down to 9. He's not being able to get up that huge cloud of mutas that is so powerful. The thing is, though, we have 11 spines, and this base down here in the bottom left is now happily getting drones. And take a look at Hyun just picking off the larva to make them drones individually. Very smart move. And Titan has no idea that base is up there. He's thinking that he has contained Hyun to being crazy all in off of 2 bases only, but he's handled this quite well. And here come the mutas once again hitting the main base as these Stalkers are going to be warped in to try and help defend, but it seems that Hyun is doing a great job of delaying Titan. And look at the probe count, 38 probes to 47 drones. That is not good for Titan in the least, but hey, he's still a 2-base Protoss. He's got a lot of opportunities to get some beefy units, but the fact that he's skimping on cannons right now is really hurting his ability to defend, because now he's losing even more of those probes, and Hyun can actually hit some of those Stalkers that they warp in, but that could be a little bit of a blunder. But now we're watching as all of those probes are getting caught into the similarity again. They're all being sent there individually. And the damage is just ramping up. 21 probes have now been killed. And even though Titan has a strong gateway force in the middle of the map, it's a gateway force. It's a gateway force against a massive amount of spine crawlers. It's not like a bunker where you can force field behind it and SPs all of a sudden can't repair it and it becomes a lot weaker and you only have to deal with 2 or 3, maybe 4 at the max. This is a huge amount of DPS that those spine crawlers have, and now Hyun's going to be able to deal with this pylon, and that's the basically only forward pylon that's out in the field for Titan. So Titan is kind of now realizing something's up, and he's going to be able to scout this base. But I mean, look at this. These extractors actually managed to mine a couple hundred gas, which is so important. And there's Hyun getting a 4th base out. But there we see Titan now knows about this, and Hyun could just counterattack with the mutas, and that's exactly what he's doing. But there are stalkers in play, and oh, Hyun cannot engage against them. He's still unupgraded, and these are +2 attack stalkers. But now we're having some links streaming forward, but this bottom left base is going to be falling. There's no way Hyun's going to be able to save it, and he may not even be able to save any of those drones. He may as well keep them mining. But that is a really unfortunate blow for him. But Titan's food count is still scarily high, but still only 38 probes. And we have these mutas are going to be, oh, they're really, really losing numbers, and they're getting shot to bits. The lasers of the stalkers are actually being crazily effective right now. And Titan actually had an opportunity to blink under them and take down a few more mutas. But here we have more reinforcements coming in. This base is now gone, but there's still a creep tumor here. So Hyun could actually spread creep in there and prevent a base from going down in that direction, but we have a proxy pylon going down next to this base as well, so Hyun could be in a little bit of a rough spot. I'm actually kind of surprised he hasn't brought these spine crawlers forward into the middle of the map. He's actually playing really, really defensively off those 2 bases, and now this base is going to get attacked, and Hyun may be able to cancel it right now if he, nope, does not get to do it in time. So now Titan's going to get that free kill. He actually tried to pull back his units for a second, but here's Hyun counterattacking completely, and oh, that is a dead probe. No, well, never mind, it's not a dead probe, actually. Now we're going to have the Zerg moving in. Now we're going to have a lot more probes going down. We see that Titan's army has managed to take down that base pretty easily. The probe count is going to be diminishing even more. We're down to 29 probes, and the mutas are going to be doing a great job attacking the stalkers, but with the links down in there, these, oh, the stalkers and gateway arms are forced to pull back, because right now Hyun's doing so much damage. All of these, oh, the probes are looking to be in a really rough spot. Hyun's managed to kill almost 60. There we now are above 60 probes that are being destroyed, down to 10 probes total. Hyun is looking like he's taking a very commanding position in this game. Titan's going to be pushing forward, blinking forward, trying to be aggressive. He does have his +3 attack. He's heavy in terms of those in the stalker numbers, but the thing is, Hyun is just evading any kind of direct assault. Now we're going to see this main nexus is going to fall, and that is a terrible blow for Titan. Titan needs to attack right now. He needs to try and find a way to engage directly, but Hyun still has all these spine crawlers, and Hyun could just plot down even more, and all he needs to do is build Zerglings. Just build Zerglings, and the blink stalkers are going to be a lot less effective, especially once you get a surround in there and you've engaged in the open. That's really bad. The small zealot count is going to be exponentially important, plus the possibility of force fields and guardian shield against the mutalisks and their bouncing and ranged attack is going to be incredibly important. But Hyun hasn't even been able to use this new 3rd base, and Titan's now pushing out for a very important attack, but mutas are now at the number of 16, and they're going to be pushing forward, doing a ton of damage. And Hyun's got these links. He actually, oh, he can't even see because links are basically blind and they can't really see that entire army. But the creep spread's really helping Hyun out so much, and the lack of robo is really important for the lack of observers to kill off the creep tumors. But Hyun has got to be really careful that he doesn't just overextend and lose all the mutas. Oh, Hyun overextending and losing almost all of his mutas. And now you have the Lings are going to be running by, and Titan does have Blink. He could blink forward and try and retreat over here, but now we have his Zealous going to be separating, taking down this base. Hyun's got to be really careful, though. Titan has split his army amazingly well. My God, Hyun is not exactly a sure win at all, because the Titan's got so much stronger of an army. These are +2 attack mutas now, so that's really important, but with sentries and stalkers and just the Lings being basically unupgraded, they only have their +1 attack. It's a very risky fight for any time that Hyun wants to engage. But now we have some forces being thrown down. Perfect force fields. Guardian Shield is now up. The mutas, though, are the +2 attack, and they're going to be very effective. And it looks like Hyun just wrecked a large portion of the army of Titan, and that is a very unfortunate loss for Titan. He's going to have a much harder time replenishing than Hyun. The problem is, Titan's army is so much stronger that now that he's reinforced with his people back at his natural expansion, He's forced Hyun back for the moment, but there's not enough to get down any kind of Nexus play over here. We can see how it's pure mineral mining here for Titan. But Hyun is seriously ramping up the aggression. Titan is going to try and expand over here. Mutas are overextending themselves. Titan's at half the food, but notice he's going for that base instead of the main base, because the main base is going to be mined out soon. He needs to only focus on defending as little as possible, so that's why he has to expand down there. We can see how Hyun has got double Spire now, actually, so he could go for double upgrades, but he needs to get a Hive if he wants to get the next set of upgrades. He just needs more of economy, but now we're watching as all of those... Wait, the Muses get... I heard transfused. It looks like the Muse got transfused. We can see that there's the moving down the Spine Crawlers, and now Hyun can safely take this base. And with these Spine Crawlers here, this worry is going to be if Titan attacks from this angle, so he can engage those Spine Crawlers individually, which will weaken them exponentially. And now with the Mutas back up to the number of 14, you can see them pushing over and doing a lot of damage. They do have that +1 armor now. You can see how the +2 carapace is going to be upgraded now. The thing is, Titan is still sitting pretty at 3-1. You could theoretically start getting some more upgrades with this Forge and all, but the question is, can he actually invest in that without dying? This Nexus is almost done, so he's got to focus mostly on this. But now we're going to see that Hyun's going to try and run away. He does lose a Muta there, and we see how Titan's getting some more links. But Hyun's also expanded down here to the bottom right a couple more times, so he's going to be able to get that out. He's transferring all those drones, because as you can see, his main has literally 0 mineral patches left, and these extractors, one only has a couple hundred left. That is insane and really unfortunate for Hyun that he's gonna have to abandon that main base pretty soon. But with the 4 base count that he's gonna be having soon, it's gonna be really important. But there is Hyun going to be destroying those zealots, and yes, he did spread the creep down here. Looks like the lead creep turn would get taken out, but this is still more than enough to block the Nexus from being thrown down, which means that Titan is in quite the pickle. Quite the pickle indeed. But you see how the Mutas are also forcing back all the mining from those probes, and see how any mine time is going to be terrible for Titan. Titan, though, has worked back up to 24 probes. 24 probes, and we've got 19 Mutas. The Mutas are almost outnumbering the probes. That is a very scary stat, if that's a stat you want to put credence in. But still, there's no Hive tech, there's no infestation pit. Hyun has basically been only on a 2 base economy at most throughout this entire game. He had 3 bases for a little bit at the start. I mean, we can see how a fair bit has actually been mined in some of these patches, but it was never quite able to be utilized. But the couple hundred gas in mined there just really helped Hyun out a lot, because gas is seriously what Zerg wants. But this Nexus is actually dangerously close to going down. If that falls, that could just be GG right there for Titan. See how few mineral patches he has, and these Mutas are once again just being incredibly effective and annoying. But with Titan, actually no, these are all pure Sentry Zealot over here. The Mutas could go over there and just wreck house, but you see the Stalkers are trying to be as active as they can. Yeah, they're going to be going into their most effective spot possible. If they actually just stayed there, they could have blinked to defend either the natural or the third, depending on which one he deems more important. But it's really bad that there's no observer. There's no way to kill the creep tumors, and oh, this cloud of Mutas. Oh my god, it's so hard for a low eco Protoss to defend against a large Muta cloud, and Hyun knows that. He's going to be abusing this as much as he can. He has two Mutas, and they are seriously effective. I mean, you rarely ever have so many Mutas, and now we're just watching the Lings getting a run by. Cancellation on that pylon. I wasn't able to get a full wall, and now we're going to see Titan losing his natural Nexus. No way he's going to be able to save that. And Hyun could just run over here to see the blink of the Stalkers. That means Hyun gets the opportunity to take the third if he wants to, but instead he's just going to go ahead and bull rush forward, because I mean Titan's got no anti-air here. The Link support is helping amazingly well, and looks like Hyun should be able to grab the game, and there it is. GG gets called. Very nicely done. Talk about an amazing game number 1. Hyun and Titan playing crazily well. Let's go on and get to game number 2 right now, because Hyun just showed crazy play in the face of an uncharacteristic opener from the Protoss. So well done by Titan, well done by Hyun. I am so happy this is a best of 3.